All right, the deed is done. New oil at last. Oh, it just sounds so much smoother. Feels so much smoother. It's gotta move my seat. What is this weird? Feels like my seat's moved back. I don't think he moved it. I don't. Yeah, same height as me. I'll let the little old lady go first. So yeah, so I put in synthetic 5W30. Oh, really? Come on, guys, come on. Pedal on the right. Come on, let's go. Let's go. That's what I hate about this blind corner. All right, so new oil. I saw the CV boot. I got pictures, and that's his truck there. It's a Gen 2. Really cool. He greased up a few things. But let's listen to this engine here. Oh, watch my speed. Watch my speed. he likes new oil. Just for being such a good boy, I'm gonna give you a shot of seafoam. But my engine is not only smoother, it's quieter. Engine light's still on. I'm wondering in about another 10 kilometers that light gonna go off. I hope it does. It's hard to tell with the road how bumpy it is. But I can tell the engine is definitely smoother. So 5W30 synthetic. I made the commitment to go to synthetic. Now, once you go synthetic, you gotta kind of stay with synthetic, right? Is it better? Is it not? The contentious oil arguments. I went through this with motorbikes. You name it. I'll open the other side. You know, like, does oil, the type of oil matter? Well, the viscosity definitely matters. That's a big ass truck behind me, so I better start hauling because he's hauling. The viscosity matters. You have to have the correct viscosity. If you have too light of a, like in a car, you can ride like 5W15. You know what I mean? It's like you can go with really light oil like that in the winter time. 5W20, 5W15, whatever. A truck, you gotta go like 5W20, 15W20, 15W30, 15W50, 5W30, what I got in here. Dodge screwed up in these years with their the filler cap. They put 5W20 in it, but you're actually supposed to run 5W30. And they never corrected it till later on, right? There's an old Ram there. Oh wow, is that like, I can notice it, like that little, that oil was old, guys. So I took as many pictures as I could for underneath while it was up on the hoist. The CV boot on this side is cracked open. The guy said just replace the whole axle. He goes, you'll never get it clean. You know, like that clunking when you hear him when I'm in 4x4, that's what it is. So they do that. They do suspension stuff there. They won't touch the EGR valve. They won't touch the engine. They don't do windshields. They do oil changes. They do tire rotations, that type of stuff. Exhaust, they will do the exhaust. So yeah, I was talking to the young lad, well, I don't know, young lad, 30 years old, whatever. And I noticed my running lights out. So that's one of the next problems I got to deal with. But that oil was a major problem, because I don't know how old that oil was. It could have been 5 years old, you know what I mean? But the drain bolt came off. I got that little SOB over there. I'm going to punish him for all that aggravation. Came off like that for a pair of pliers. Thank God. So the oil change, which was a 4 liter and 1.5 quarts, with the filter, came up 120.95. Oh, here comes another Dodge Ram. This freaking guy's nuts. It's a blind corner, buddy. Trying to give you room, but you gotta have common sense too, you know. Squeezing in between me and the big rig. So yeah, I was anticipating about 140. So from this point on, I should be able to get that drain bolt off, No problem. Now the other side of the drain bolt didn't look that bad, but you could tell it's an old drain bolt. Like, it's not, like, the rubber's brown on it. That rubber gasket seal was brown on it. Now the seal was still doing its job, which is good, but it was old. It's freaking old. Like, why would people not change their oil like that? So new oil, new oil is like having a new vehicle. Like, it really smoothens out the ride. I could feel it in the wheel that the engine's not as rough. Now, mind you, give it about 3 weeks, it would probably, what you call it, he put a little sticker there to remind me for my oil change. So I did it at that mileage, whatever, but I keep an eye on it. So hopefully if I get the drain bolt off again myself, I'll probably be about $70, $80 per pop, maybe 90 to change the oil each time, depending on the inflation and stuff like that. It used to cost about 30, 40 bucks to change oil, even in a truck like this, right? But those days are gone. But that said, that's a good investment for your vehicle because you're buying life for your vehicle. Even on an old vehicle, like, this thing has over 360,000 kilometers on it. I know the odometer says less, but that's not the original odometer. I forget why the lady said it was changed out. The whole dash was changed out for some reason. Oh, geez, bounce off the road here. But my two, oh, somebody else. I thought that was somebody who I knew. The two on the sway bar, the two, what do you call it, pivot axles there. Holy Jesus. Bounce off the road here. These are Quebec roads. That's probably the worst spot there. You'll even see trucks take the ditch there. Like, it bounces them off the road. But anyway, this side was really bad. So maybe next month or the month after, I want to get those. But he went around and he said, like, all my suspension stuff looks pretty good. Like, it's rusty, dirty, whatever. Yeah, it's a work truck, right? But he said all the suspension stuff looked pretty good. Obviously, the CV boot on that side's done. So there is a few little projects. So I went around with the camera underneath, and I recommend you do that anytime you're get a chance to look underneath your vehicle like that. Like, you can go under, like, lying on the ground going under your vehicle, there's just things you can't see. You know what I mean? Like, there's shaded areas, whatever. When it's up in the air like that, it's well lit enough that you can, oh, hey, I didn't see that before. Oh, hey, I didn't see that before. And that's what I was looking for. So I took as many photos as I could. This truck is not bad. This truck is not bad. So he greased up my, all the, you know, U-joints, you know, like the, what you call it, you know, the U-axles there on your drive shafts and stuff like that. He checked the forward fluid on the 4x4 transmission. Skunk. Oh. Well, that one's fresh. That is a fresh skunk. I don't see him, but he was definitely well sauteed. Oh my God, that's horrible. That one, I can usually handle skunk pretty well, but that one was pretty powerful. So all in all, the truck, not a bad bill of health for that so far. I mean, a truck this old, 16 years old, is a time bomb. Yeah, I get it. Any vehicle 16 years old is going to be a time bomb. But if you stay on top of the little things, you know, a year, 2 years before you know it, you're not driving a new vehicle, but you're driving a reliable vehicle. And that's what I'm hoping for, right? My biggest issue with this truck is the gremlin that, makes it, misfire and stall out while I'm driving once in a while. It doesn't do it all the time. It's doing it less, knock wood, since I pulled disconnected the EGR valve. So I do believe the codes were correct on the EGR valve, that it was doing it. Now, I didn't return the EGR valve today because I still have it. That's where I bought it, was from Kelly's Auto there. But I also wanted to make sure that if I do get somebody to work on it that will do that kind of work, I have the valve now. It's probably not going to get any cheaper, And if it was built with it, yeah, I know what the EGR valve does, and if you can get away with driving without it, yeah, you're going to get better mileage, you're going to get better this, you're going to get better that, right? And I would definitely prefer to leave it off. But my thinking is this: with an open valve like that, I'm worried about moisture and stuff getting in there and creating other problems. Even if you stay on the engine oil, because it is a port, right? It is something that can allow moisture in, which, I mean, moisture is moisture. It'll get where, like, you know, things condensate, whatever. I get that. But it's, if you can, you know, any little thing you can avoid, you know what I mean? Like, to create you headaches in the future, if you can do that, do that. You know, that is the thing to do. So oil is now changed, so that's off the list. Only took me October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, 8 months to get to. But so the lady had the vehicle for about 8-9 months when I bought it from her. So this could have went at like what's called you know, 16-18 months without an oil change, right? That's probably not going to kill the vehicle, even with this high of mileage. But you do that for year after year, 3 years, this engine will be done. You know, now if I change this oil every say 3,000, 5,000, or whenever I see it getting really black, so say every 2 months, let's say I change it every 2 months, 120 bucks every 2 months is really not that much for a work truck. It's for your family car, I don't know, you do you. But even you know, like if you had a Honda and